Sky Pro Radio and TV Services Studios, West Yorkshire, Late Stencil Mountain. Welcome all on board a weekly civic education program today, Saturday, 7th of February 2026 at 17:09 UK time. Mustafa Jama is my name at the seat. Greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Bading ulungal kontong mobe dauda anibe watu on Skype or radio and TV services lamoral and jiberal kalbe kontong kal bismillah na programo min kasuro jang lokungo lokun ninyi antembensi the civic education program. Al badi malo Mustafa Jame mimbe sirim programo kun nanyin tembe. Okay, deglu kati yulande your feature Sky Power Radio and TV services by Co Studios West Yorkshire, Late Stencil Mountain. The program Civic Education Program and Accelerate Mustafa Jamanekal and feature Rojabe. Yo, coming down to Kenya local Ninja and Tembensi and Alfalso Ramfe in Tembeng Studio Kono. Kakacha Kula mi alonko ngamera wolon sula kure. Katun ni nakacha fango be nangani minti jang wolon pruka jeko. Fengo mi Gambian call sula. Ko mi banku dingol sula katum feo fembe nukunding dolko dol sabeji ngol ko feo fembe nuring kudan kol ko mi ko kumbe nukunding so ning ko kube nukunding kala fila ay funti kene bato ay lankene ma molli minni ya lonko wala sula ta kalon katum jamano be nyamen bitilo nyonene anin kanyo kuname anyanta bannale bitilo la so wala tinna kan sula bake ninga fengo je miya lonko mol nyant ay mol la sula kolon alfal minne bo bunda lanke commanding e bunyato commandi jam prena ya fonye banko dingol nyanta kamina lo wodo kadum bitilo ko ku keta Gambia mol sa politiko dundije andung nyim politiko ka dung nyin kol mindo. It's got people's life. Mol niyo leka tuje, mol leka faje, mol leka fuaria, mol leka bayoya, mol leka kurang, mol leka sasa. So ni model ko wota ikake fair around ka fo iba politicize la aka jarantole fe ofen na purga na nga fo. Fe ofen bije mba fala ko be nyame nga lankena pour mol be yalon wa bo nyam. So nka em diamo siandi kambar alfal min bem fe folo be minkela en se ibula ening lamoyrlal ni giberale nyo kontong ni obora jeen sina dum kacha kun kono because bi kacha abakela lankena marolti bi kacha abadiala bakela abakela kuleto miya lonko ba kese bola jaboto inshallah bro jama nka folo ko nanyol kumata ko kono ladies first but in day saying I will leave the microphone to you sir nzebule ni mole nyo konto banni wonde lafta kala nyama isa ko nyawande inimbara
Barka ba lamin bani mamurundi lan na luntangola lamin dan fala pour atefan animole nyo konton karntol katra janne every Saturday faning koles mol bloy muta so mamurundi na luntangol to komin ka ke nyamen su luntango e ka luntangol le bonya
okay tanatije okay lamin budum be minkela follow be nyi wato tala ke tentu ke jayi ya wato minta pour kana dangun na jang kula mi alon ko nga kumandiro ke ala sa fuko short notice lom bare hani wo kita nyaaw nyama ngalong ay fanan sula le pour wala nay ko ibina la pour kana jang ene kacha kula mimbe danding malong sabi jing kol ka fo Ceprass nyaade la ngi njurun kol bare mbe nyimbe lon na la bi so lamin zebule ni mo le ñoo kontong ni obore jeen sina dum kacha ko ngona ene bara lamin
abaraka bake Mustafa abaraka ndey kedele kontano tika kapalma bi kacha kuda me alon ko banko la kolem detom lamin tam falti pado ko la University of the Gambia par fanan Ceprass fanam ba do ko la je intele muje executive director followed our Ceprass we also believe in democracy and term limit so having served I only served for one term even though I could have also going for second term, but I also feel that we should also set example. So not term clinic, step down and then my colleagues took up. So na dalilo bijang walen kadiamu research la na menke me alon kontere ba nyaton ke akan terem the project manager of this opinion poll na menke bari Ceprass fana manke luntante nyin do ko kon nana kilo wakan 2021-2023 electoral cycle na doko kene one of the first of its kinds na même for a finti da nyame mamara mo kumpa Gambia sandal ba jibera la moral mbay be kontonna na jiki nin kacha kono fanuta ku jama be je me al jakale mun mu Ceprass ye jumara kan dépense ren do ko ke ani nyin do ko ka ke nyaadile mun dajelo ti o sifale ba be senen la ni kibaro fana men fudi e mo ba men ta kan banko kan ka be senen di molba inshallah ni nyin kara la nyin karol ka fana jabi ka kol o fanu dikende ru fa habro sawara ko ala barka
ina maraba ke Lamin nay
ya mbafula mbe lamoyla be kontonna bare mbe lamin fanan kontonna mbafula a barka bake a time moment anin tole tarajan kananyin call explain molye munem seprasti munem munyin call beti isaje molye abondi nyamo kono ngalo lamin fanan balo nale ko tol gambian on mandali so wela ngamira Ceprass would be probably first be alon konka electoral survey soto because mbuka soto no ka election jube bari bebe Europe le jang so ka jele sauver ka kele kol ka kele and will be ka ke so wo bafula abarka bake because fonga londo fanang fonga ni mol ya share ni londo bije ni mo ya share nga mol faham di fanang gambe dingol fana ya understand isaje ko hani mang ku jama bondino because Mustafa ay fango ya fale ko mol ka politicize le bari ko ku political le ti bari ka samba partisan politic line ola problemo fanang be siri jele bari political le kam bol be balundi political le kan life decide for ibe medical support so tolale for ibe balula all these things abe is under the politics bari bella moyla fanan bal be kontona question jamal le kananu nata no nying Ceprass situation finally nga lamin so to explain it because itol le kake itol le sa fono itol le sa explain itol be ka analysis leke obviously I wrote a lot of analysis on it as well but itol fongo le sa explain no mole and ba fala jubela ko well ala barka bake wato wati anin tul katara jang as usual ba try la bake ka call be put local language because ngalon ko more ka remind le nindu da angale ko rek almuru local language so yeah andung asis nyol la iman tarajam bi be katarajanne doing analysis Aziz Bojang Suleiman Jeng and Suleiman Baji Bamba Mas so ibe man tarajang kol buka sone ya ni be yiro boringol kasi ale dal so ko weekendo Mustafa ifana barka bake ka kol be coordinate ka make so ko nyim programme e continue hani molbe ma make no bari asi continue ala barka bake and yeah a barka again Lamin
ina maraba ke ndey akumata bro Lamin follow niaje nga fuko nyin kumada momo bijang momo ba lamay rola momo ba jibe rola nying amu ngamul be sas min na wolom pass the message on la fa gamen ko be nana jang pour nga nying kacha because ko fundi be nga fundira cho siata diamo siata modol ya longa fota nyameng modol ye figo sol jibe nyamani keta nyameng malo ibe lari nyamen par follow koku jannin ka dum ko marufo kono ndol ba fala ko marufo malon lamina tul ka fanya de la ko ngokono wala nyinti ko ngala fika ko lon koku ika lon ne follow you need to be able to define ko nyin and then ena lon ko nyin ka tamanyande follow biko Ceprass ngato mola sabi jin kol ba fala nyandi Ceprass so ndol ka Ceprass so niko Ceprass muno Ceprass di ko nyin muno ba fudi ranga kono Lamin but comments and contributions no problem will be highly obliged Lamin Ceprass wala mun
Ceprass wolem Center for Policy Research and Strategic Studies nawale na waka funyo kan na tumandin ka fa Ceprass ba wale fanan tu wasonela moliafo ni miro fanan na doku nonu bele sita molel miro fay fon kambenta wo tonina Ceprass so imagine man nimba safela na C and R ngole ka capital so the rest is small letter so that's how Ceprass represent the nyam so Ceprass mu okay
muna mu ala longkang dalilot
Good. Now, Ceprass, what I remember Lola in 2016, that was when Jammeh was still around. At the time, it will be Mudokulati at the University of the Gambia. Sorry, I have some cold, so occasionally I'll be sorry about that. So it will be about Dokula University there. So covering Nigeria at the time, we do not have an independent research center at the university. So we felt that as lecturers, especially at the School of Business and Public Admin, Gafta Nyoka, Nina colleague is a foreign professor, Gonasin from Sweden. So nada ñu ko jibe ka fo lo me alon ko ba lola research kan bari ata tarra mo ko to ba kana independent body so that na research findings mota influence no whatsoever whether by government or any interest group so wala na an independent body na register with AG chambers and then go through all the formalities in 2016 but what wala man do ko keno because the political climate at the time was difficult. So we remained very inactive. Mambambambake do kokono. Pokabrin change of government sita. Ceprass nata mambang. Okono ning Afrobarometer na blodu nyobulu. So the national partner tito for 5 years. And Ceprass lota men ka walen ka research bambandi bake. Especially at the university level. And in finance and dabula do kono mene aron ko consultancy le manin training. So Ceprass ni bulu sabalem research consultancy and in training. So nko ke ni mo jamale ka do ko ke ni mo sekunda ka do ko ke ni faye do ko bunda ka do ko ke. You know, I mean the NGOs, the UN system ni bele do ko and even banta research institutional dolba to babu tuje German even UK. Currently, we are working also with University of Essex, I think Oxford University, on on air quality. So, you know, at Ceprass. So, the membership for all the members, School of Business University, BIMU member of Ceprass. So, Kabilo the first sign almost 10 years. This year, 10-year anniversary as a research center in the Gambia. So na dokul fana siada then na doku jamalek siada back in different areas because in terms of various disciplines what because university staff so many along in different areas. So nga doku okay in the area of governance, nga doku in terms of economic, you know, gender, you know, policy issues, you know, education and inequality, health, and so on and so forth. So na nga doku jamalek. So we have expertise in different areas. So that is our strength. Well, the strength in Ceprass, water market. They are top-notch researchers in the Gambia. And even outside, they go work at doctoring. So the experience level Ceprass, water market. So Ceprass, Mobukan support, Mobukan depends. The depends no be na doku menke. You know, through na ning international organization kadoku menke through them Grand Soul and even some consultants in menke certain percentage in Kiple for you know administrative work at Ceprass. So Motafula Africa Ceprass sponsor no. We are independent and then we have a very slim staff, many are called the permanent staff that work with us with a large pool of researchers. Many are called they work in different areas.
Lamin, I explain more about Nico independent parce que wo discussion o bejele dol ba fala ko al masakunda le ka sponsor dol ba fala ko opposition dol le ka sponsor Nico independent munemu Nico Ceprass independent tale
Comment na ko nyamen tol independent tale in terms of our finance Mobukan pass. And in terms of our administrative work, Ceprass has a constituted board within the ranks of Ceprass. Men can do an oversight work with Ceprass. So, the administrative staff was with an executive director, another director of research, director of consultancy, and director of training, director of finance. You know, and then we also have some other officers in Ceprass and we have a board. Many alonko akanda doko jibe. So Ceprass mantara moko even University of the Gambia and to be doko leje. They have no control over us. I mean, they have nothing to do with us. So we are independent in terms of administration. We are independent in terms of finance. So Motapula Gambia into leka Ceprass sponsor, but the konna for jamendo ni mo be ka do koke. Ni mo sa konna for nga do koke. Near dogo sort of water dol is ansasi. For example, the Gambia trade strategy dollar dada for government through Ministry of Trade. And they do even in terms of training, ni mo sa kunda do ko jamagi. Even during COVID-19, the COVID research we work very closely with different institutions. They are directly affected with COVID. So, and likewise, the rest of the institutions, many along Korea, independent. Our doors are always open. Ceprass par loring banko bele, kaje ko dal fem bakelan to let moment to be based by evidence, and evidence was also through research. So that is our aim, and the overall aim on and kaje ko dal banko ba better so that my fella as a politician, as even government official, now come back with data. So at the end of the day, what am dollar objective.
Musa Fambala dorong pour molia gena fam parce que diamu jamale be Ceprass kan sai. Lamin ntol jama mbuka Ceprass moy bake chocho buka wara Ceprass kan fo politique polo lena. Fo alla do ko mu wodam maleti because ye dol explain al kamenke. Isa explain na molia al tol ka do ko menke because nka politiko dam male nim politique pol sol fintita otu mole chocho ka wara mol be for Ceprass. Al kam muneke apart from political surveys, electoral surveys and not,
Yeah, but come on, California, mentolu, Kadogo menka siata. So, sa example tentandiana. Currently, Ning University of Essex, University of Oxford, Madokola in Canifin municipality, the air quality. So it's a 1-year project. Me along Kababana this Monday. Now start last year, 2025. It's on air quality in the KMC. It's a World Bank supported project. Me along Ceprass world-class researchers no level do from University of Oxford, University of Essex, and so on. So for now, Nidara German, for example, C4ED, Center for Evaluation and Development, it only document impact evaluation. So in this Ceprass on this returning migrant, the EU project called Mealonko, Menkabo do Canada, a skill soul dealer. So he left on the impact of that project. So Ceprass in C4ED, even the cash transfer, this social safety net with Nana, Ceprass C4ED to do an independent study on the impact of that project on the households across the country. Ceprass for now will have also worked with UNESCO on Tibet with GTTI and other institutions. No doku for Nankele. The doku jamata for me alonko nik Afrobarometer. So for now is on governance level as a national partner. So Ceprass for now we have also worked with government, for example, like Minister of Trade, the Gambia trade strategy. We have also worked with OIC. OIC la name ka falling into Banjul conventional center and with the OIC. And then we have also worked with MRC, for example, on this waste management. For example, ni MRC for the Ning Canifin General Hospital, Ndolela, their financial manual in call operational manual. First time in the health sector, and then we have also worked with some other international organizations. Many along you can reach out to Ceprass near Doku directly on some of the issues. Gambian. So I said the back is over 100 projects. Many along Ceprass Doku making, and of course, even in terms of training with GRA, we have also worked with National Audit Office. The gender mainstreaming, National Audit Office for Doku. I mean, with host of institutions in the country, and we have also worked with Action Aid in the organic fertilizer production and usage, agroecology, with Action Aid. So we have also worked with, UNESCO. I've said earlier, we have also worked with, the Korea International Corporation, KOICA, Okay. I mean, a lot of institutions, around the world. So Ceprass, but it's not as political as this one. So when each time a false opinion polling, people were asking, do you want Ceprass? Do you want Ceprass? Because naturally more money long because kana doko kala duma. Doko jumake. Abaka finti bake. But these opinion polls, they mujamai long walto, kabri, Ceprass that. So we also work with these international organizations like IRI, International Republican Institute. We work with NDI, National Democratic Institute. And you more than going the political sponsor, National Endowment for Democracy, all based in the US, where you support this project. And this is the fourth time in support in our governance projects in the country. So now that don't share about.
But Lamin, Mustafa Mbaladorong, I'm not gonna take over, but Lamin, Munana Yamira Allah Doko, because ye doko men list jang are the very important thing, air quality, ye kujamal explain jamayalonko albe menkeka. Barimbuka wolje. Munana wol buka finti, because I know the political side buka finti, but Munana buka finti, is it agreement or mel soto molmeng ali melbe doko wala wole information or talem information wala na buka finti. Like nyindo ka finti nyame mbeka aje ko ale nyine finti taje.
Yeah, sometimes buka affinity back maybe what we do we can follow on our social media handles. It's a will be known. But they are very interesting. Even recently for the National Human Rights Commission, we did a study on the perception of Gambians on the government white paper. Very interesting study. It was supported by the UNDP, and then our social media handle called KJL, but not public like this, Natatu, they are more because they are link clients or so except with their permission, we have to inform about disability and so on. So they can get us on board. We talk about that. But again, the social media handle some of our activities can put there, but it's not as buka wara koning political franconing, buka kind of franconing may generate, the kind of conversation and also debate around that. But Fenjamalem, that be formula jang, and then those are even very interesting findings. Na very, very interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting, actually. Research Meli Alonkoye Melis Jang. Very interesting, actually, in these trying times for now. Mustafa Malon for Bijele, but
yes.
Just wanted to ask Malon from Beduna Jele for Musa Mune Munin Ceprass la report. Mune Mati in report on Memfintita. And Munatin na sign.
All right. Again, this particular research about covering project called the Mealon Gafo Meko strengthening democracy in the Gambia, or sometimes Gafo the health of democracy in the Gambia. It's a 2-year project called the Mealon National Endowment for Democracy. Wala di mola. Project called start September. Last year September. For about around for 2027 September. So, and then because we are transparent, we are giving $140,000 for this 2-year project. That covers the team holder in a salary. So we are all the members this project, and each of us are on a 2-year salary, monthly salary. Such that we take care of our people, Kafoko. I mean, we ensure that at least now more they are well enumerated, in this course of this assignment. So, and then in project owning, now plan to do about 4 opinion polls or 5, but by increase that to 5 because of the demand from people. And then Babundake and sign. Don't start signing them because this project we also have to call the issue-based studies and also the perception of Gambians on democracy and also opinion poll. So Najidoke sign, and then we will also have a second poll around June. And the last one before presidential election will come very close, few weeks to the election. And that result will be out maybe one week before the election, towards the end of November.
Okay,
So,
Mr. Lamfa, janni be jam fala.
Yeah.
Mela kuma kuntu lafta minna coming nying survey nying what prompted it? Mune ya tin aliyake minal dunga kela killing nim fulan jambi je. Okay, akita ning sila jamal lela. Maybe this might be a pregnant question. Akita ning sila jamal lela coming muna al dunga kela fo mansa kunala kun sulata la pura aliyake fo molle wulda ko wulda nga fo minni kal depends. What prompted this? Ni survey sign.
I mean, this is a 2-year project. And the cabinet project or cabinet win, we prepared our work plan and timeline that we are working on it. So what timeline on more follow come. So we are not in any way listening to anybody because this is a project I'm gonna win. Nobody dictate us what we should do because na be program na be safe. So we are going by na work plan. Now, just like Mafo Kanyamen, in any opinion poll, because the question is making this poll, though, among there are a lot of important indicators because after the second poll, but a very organized a very big conference in the Gambia, we are going by all the stakeholders, from political parties, from civil society organization, from the media, from government, from UN agencies and other, private sector. Maybe invite like IEC, Ombudsman, the security apparatus. Maybe invited for a national conference. So the idea is what Banco Mole Memfo na Soviet Konombole na the tabloka ni Mole Akacha. Pour Ceprass ke facilité toti, katara mol tema. Ka mol kambe ni kaname alonko aseka banko inafat. So at the end of the day, more kamenda mena mbole safele na fintindi kaje ko dal na conference o men organize banko mol na men command different stakeholders on agree together. So the other that is a reform meaning the killer, we try to push that. Because at the end of the day, leftale banko mol can men for more ya moy, whether it is Masakundale Bank, even those opposition in government in waiting, it be a moy. Anybody make opportunities so the kaje ko dal salonko banko mol left together. And for them, opportunity for them, and government say, Marco, in a manifesto, is a tailor on banko mol left together. So, you know, idea. So, we'll have the market can sign, not because mola for mole, one of the Kurola Sabahani, we are following our work plan. Because Nyanda do Jamal Kela, in Project Kokon. So, at the full level, and then we should also report our funders. So, our sign is because Abana work plan the con.
Akumada. Okay. Akumada bage damenfo. But lafta purka ming babulala wono ka wolo nyintiko. Biring alia foko albakela. Alia tala sidula mindio fole ko sidula saba. Ibina watu mine yewol fole. But okay, nyindom ming keta follow. What was the line of question? Ala nyinin karol ngol momunede. Ale banku dingol nyinin ka minela. Killing ni se bono nyonyot. Ale banku dingol nyinin ka minela.
Maybe after I want to talk about the methodology in a question of Javi.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, that's fine.
Because, yeah, Jama fana mol kanyin karo kere. Ceprass. Yenyum fon Kenya dine. Durba fula ko mo wili kinen keme fula tanna ni luko da manyin ka. Osa Gambia bela miro represent ba. Nyin ka sifar kanare benalon ko mol ka nyin ka. Pare kamen tadi don ka clarify. Nindo ko aba loading silo lekam. Bao même fon sepede ano ning banko besa nyin ka no. Ore alo ko bakoler. Bao dépense no fa ani Gambia fon la census fon dépense no sedal. Mas ko na fon korta mele ko Ceprass. O dogu sivan. So but then nira jibe sai londa le melandi iko isa sample tano from your target population ye wala nyininka anda sa molla miro banko kan sa so nana doko na landi lonnal ya landi nyame in research so ni dara jibe doko fon be kita nyame ba follow jadi ba molo nyininka la fon nyininka ro le ba menke kan ro e ba jumal le nyininka who are your target population certainly in the target population of Gambian voters let mole target kan so on a normal circumstances isa fono I still register ino soto e bayela o babete ala ba wolle mu carte failite wo listo bolle bal but wato dolu ko listo ni soto IC aka pata samana even though ni IC sita ka ko ni kata ban jikita ko in voter register ni ya update so soto no the more nyininka so in the absence of that the best frame is a may use no ba Gambia Bureau of Statistics wala ba lorim banko kan kanyi ndoku sifal kiskis so dada jibos ka frame to table media along ko ila kiskis no menke census wato na ni the latest SDG la research menke science thing no frame to table tabe no to table no wala use ka banko tala na banko tala ngadile na tala foro na banko tala in regions the regional beta tabe bottom to sign the next level wala the enumeration area enumeration area in near for Madeka and South Fono, Walemu, duality, Sate, Luminalonco, a Kafundi Yokake, a single cluster, Kafoleko, enumeration area, Dalbian Manjam Fanyola, a Kafu, Kabila Kilindi, a Kafu enumeration area. O Banco Kang, you have 83, Dansei and Nisaba, Golfan Beta. So Kolara, Nata Boneke, Nata household, Syncretion, Nata or towel con. So, but Kabin Najiben the calculate using the Yamani formula, data calculate Kajako and the sample size will be 1,245. We killing Kimefula Tanda and in Lulu. So, Nata Otara Banco Baker. No Farantala Nadi, our original Fana, it was a note today. The West Coast is the biggest region. So, my momentala West Coast, whatever Siala, my mentala Lara. So, the line of what I note in Yame. Nkamolo for the pension ka sia nyoti wala nyama ya family so na take wala nyama ka je ko dal the household no target so na more ni ta da household to ta da ko dal ko no serious giti on ni ka jumal le bidi sinkiri ya ni ka science de karin kare bi media lon ko sai isie carte fa isie si sai nganda bre ke 17 years na walta ma jikirin ko 2026 December men ba 17 or ba 18 so dollar and your carte fa dollar so wala na kuma 17 kasere sando so ni na koda tio ya fa jumal le bidan ila sikirot ya todi la no mol mena be kada ni karole ko pull base affaire so on ka put in a system the solve solution that may use was na mol ka tablet use so the system ka aka pick la ka mo ken pick so on ka everything menge ka ke alkurumut pour you kana mol target isa ba ha me ni ka MPP mol wala to UDP mol hani fem ba kelan ka ke alkurumut it is not biased because research to kuma na bakel any scientific research manya na bias na ina ke alkurumut but what alkurumut ka ke nyadi de census la data ko fana jibe ba on yes census data jibe musol la population of percentage wise almost 51% kewol 49 so on ka ke system ko in such a way that more percentage target la but coming to research bank ni jibe nata men so musol la karola kemo kono 54 although asiata census la population of 51 by 3% but coming back na methodology for the keka you have what you call margin of error or research abuka timba so na error benta wala 3% plus or minus so niyo isa are no plus so niyo jibe na research for pour kanon ko na main use abambantale ika wala follow jibe na margin of error so niya plus 3 la 51 kam 54 la o kam den tadira da diko mo wara ni bakele ko na research ni abu so kewalto is 46 so imagine that even in terms of the age no be factor power Gambia fonni ke le siata so na age group also census ya ke nyamen wato dolu niya molta ika jibele funding kelu this time iba funding kelu jini kala iba kebara jini kala iba musura jini kala iba kewala jini kala no be program le kaje ko da kana bias so that it reflect the 2024 population census in the Gambia so kuma da baka na doko kono so no be program on jama janimbo be kela na mol na humanitos ne train ba o Ceprass mi den doko kono ni mol beta doko wala because na every resign ka mol train on our instrument na jini karo fanan komen ko Mustafa ila jini karo ba damen wolen na mo jini ka sifake janimbo fama be kela sitale na ko jibe bawo na lonne lefta fandal be jini ka na fandal men be jini ka ma be findi fa wa siya bata at a maybe end of this month or early next month but for madol fanan findi dilan ka fo moli banko moli mumbira sudaje so kabrin na sita na safarol beke fonga jibe nyofe na jibe 2021 na jini karol menga na suma that is very important internal validity in any research and external validity so externally na findiri banda na di mol fana pour ya jibe kana questionnaire jini ka na jibe mol ya review ya jibe na tol be kafunyo kan ka be fine tune be pareta na mol commandi they train kabin they train in pareta we have a one-day pilot ka jibe na instrument ba nyadile ni mol jini ka ba kala nyadile so ko men findina je bata ko to no be address nyandimba mol deploy la because na more than inflata enumerators and three supervisors ke samba filo kono ka mol nyini ka so supervisor ka jere ko every day mombe koto yara do ko jiwe kata nyadile and na data manager fadan ka be jibe every day all member je ni me alon ko if there are any inconsistency wo fomo ni ka rejectle they fix it in the field jani ba bolaji so there are a lot of quality checks ngamenke in the system even before the enumerators babula filo kono ka kudema le fadan jibe even enumerators all e ka time momenta ka interview ke go fadan be jibe na system is such that ni ba interview ke ka e ka jere ko comme ko may ko ni ka kama da me ka ko somebody is talking system ko be indicate and also before any interview ke ka the GPS location of an time ka je ko da ni no molba sara gupu you are GPS patara ko tonya sara gupu so any form me alon ka man GPS ta form woni ka rejectle so these are all control measures the men dundi system ko no ka je ko da member kela doko ay better ay low sino me alon ko o sino better ko na fa ndabe researching amantima so kabinda o beke no beke nataji be ko men ko kambe ni ka da mun ni ka sifa ga ni ka ro sifa tiada personal tiada pak bawo ni ne ni ka ro jibe follow the demographic ka molla eta kela even ila ethnicity although buka pare ko data those will for reveal ka analyze for some sensitive issues men budget but we even have the data na mambe ngin kan sa disaggregate into tribe ka jibe which tribe support which one data will be indicated data men budget for that be report no so from the demographic we also ask questions around democracy and governance for example na ngin karaoke barora tata the issue no ngin ka na pengo fananke fo mo lata president wala bank aka banko samba nyame na mo fana ngin ka wala ila sambo economy fana ka samba nyame na fanko job creation do ko fana parce que kunda feba to bro kande ba ya fa no don fana page ngin ka so even social media la use it because na jibe sign because they don't know fana page ka je ko that so know the power of social media what la fa mo fa be analyze back what the perception looking at their social media usage and against other indicators more for them BGB what could be a very interesting finding so even the media co use them and then the intention to vote and then the likely candidate will be in the car and all for that more from analyze like on the infrastructure security foreign policy and so on. I see a pattern of being in the car. So the half letter, the only analyze, the disseminate for now. So science and then October during when in car bundalina. And then maybe not only in car on that and clean GB will come those interesting findings. ka jibe ñin karo fon kete ñaadile was na moy le modul ba confused na ñin karo dola intention to vote and likely winner confusion or maybe that also don't find clear the mole yeah jibe and maybe they draw more political party member Gambia I pay karambunda so ñin konon although more kana drong I mean they are making statement but our doors are open and I must also add that across the board, all political parties and other stakeholders reach out. So that shows that there are a lot of confidence that they have in Ceprass. Santo, they can rubbish things, but underneath they've also out for us to give a more and say, yeah. So yeah, let me repeat myself. I think I lost connection.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bundali political parties, they reach out to us. That shows their trust us. So because no one for announced that our doors are open to everybody, whether they are political parties, civil society, if they want some further analysis of the data, we can do that because it might be analyzed. There are a lot of things. So our doors are open. So at the end of the day, Ceprass left and Mena, Banko Modi and Memfo, the political party, and in the Doku Pundali are long, you'll call 10 minutes, Banko Modi left and judgment. That is our objective. And that's what we want to achieve.
Just a follow-up, Lamin, thank you for the methodology. Be explained more very clearly, like the samples, alias select nyaming, representation, margin of error, explained very well for people to see data to match the national demographic, be explained. And then one thing I miss, I don't know whether I get it from I miss le wole muko. Aye interview ñing conduct ñadi le telephone le mbam fal ni molle benta bang. Fal kata molle ya alia ke ñadi le dal because je mamo moy bak andung mung language dem alka nale momo mi dal ka jubel natara iteni ndey mitta ay mandika kan wole fo ali mandika kan natara Mustafa la esuru akan fo esuru akan ali wo ke ñadi le because manje catch up.
Yeah, I think Manje mentioned. Actually, na past service, na marketing, we did that through telephone call. But what we did the last time was we used the GBOS integrated household survey. It has, the framing has numbers assigned. So Nawale used to do our that because there are a lot of challenges that we had. All right, this one it was done na face to face. So menkada during training for na mol tale with different language skills. Yeah, in fact, Ceprass, the interesting thing with Ceprass, we even have our regional experts. Neither phone, we have our phone expert. Me and I'm going to phone because what kumara data personal connect because ni mol samba me and I'm going multi. Sometimes mol book some sonaka jabiroke. So we understand that in research, no bail on it. So in some difficult places, in fact, across the board, we have our experts. Now, West Coast expert BD, you are our expert BD, even West Coast for the divide, the phone expert for them BD, and so on. So, the language skill for them is across the major languages. And the number training now, of course, the instrument about English data, but it can translate in the local languages. Yeah, so that more understand us. In fact, some of the key terms will be rightly, so that people understand the terms the men use, in specific language. All right. The reason I'm not training for Puru ning enumeration 1 in karaoke should be the same way that enumeration 2 should also ask. Training we also do pilot pretest. We have a full day randomly so some of the problems the feel and in issue soul is there any coherence or consistency go be jibele promote the data na be rectified and even move finally into the field. Sometimes like that feel we have some problems. Immediately respond no don't address for at least we can continue. So nanka kutama lekeje kaje dal molu ne jini ka kawana me alon ko ya moy adu ne jini ka nyara me alon ko ya faham wala na fanan di ora issue men data jini ka ko do ba fula ko political party ba go mul be tolo it's a party tolo and so on. And we are very careful. In a more we have a list of political parties and in leaders. So near party of course a leader so that ambiguity is not there. Puru mobile faham okay so that Ghana any political party disadvantage. And I also want to make this clarification that all political parties now be included, including UFC. There's no point in time am I include in our list of the political parties. From the beginning, up to the time we are conducting the interview. So political party baby there's no party me alongo marketing these major parties. And it all man because political for the honey. So I think that is important to clarify that as well.
Yeah, there is a follow-up question to that, Lamin, again from the listeners that I think you've answered that, but let me just get back to that. Was the survey done through a blind random trial, and how were participants recruited? What were the qualifying criterion? I think I am able to explain. Yeah, I did explain it.
Yeah, not fully. I mean, the methodology is very robust. A robust back because even at the time of my analysis lab, we also introduce weighting. Now wait for the introduce in our in our data because the weighting for the sampling weight of them kumata adoko corner because near apply because of there's a formula that you use a little bit technical though, but maybe may research understand. We also did now wait for the introduce analysis would understand because it ensures that pro biases in from a car reduce it to the barest minimum. So and on them for coming to repeat in character for there's a 5-stage that may use. It's a multi-stage stratified random sampling that may use. So stage follow to the more stratified as region, the regional beta, all the 8 regions in the Gambia. At the second level, that is the enumeration area. Often, Namuneke is a proportional random sampling. Regional is Sarah Joti Nyame, Nakewle Nyam. Yeah, family. So then stage 3, then we went to the enumeration areas and into the household, synchronal to, and then from the household, the more tombo for water. So the methodology is very robust. And then the sampling frame, we get that from Gibbons. And in fact, it's a recent one, in 2024, 2025. Now we use, very, very recent. And margin of error, just like I've said, 3%. Now we use.
Sorry, Lamin. Lafta you quickly clarify Janimbe into the report itself. Mulka fole ko 1,000 people ali wole select dorani wole diamo woman Gambia be represent. Mojolem ali wole ta, and I explain more because we know. Ko survey you take samples. Even in Norway, they don't take the whole population anyway. But I explained more, understand because 1,000 Gambian old, not sure. 1,000 Gambian over 2 million people will represent. How do you explain this for ordinary Gambian understand? Yeah, this is reliable. It's reliable and reliable picture of the country. Molbe Mira Kambankodo. I Molbe represent.
Yeah, very good. Now, the first clarification of the target population, the voter population also. That will be about, let's say, about 1 million. Okay, about 1 million, more million kidding. That's our target because mantala bango be target kan, you know, at the end of the day, because when secretary find out the potential voters, no only target. Now, Neo GB, let's say for the benefit of the doubt, now for 1 million. So now, coming for sampling about rolling Lundoleka. You know, Lonalia Sabati di Nyame. You know, man can do it for it. Maybe I'm going to the Sabang, a London to Katabin Toldi. Yeah, Landi Bulo Menkan, that are now Bulo for now. Now for Fanang, coming back here, the formula may use, we use Yamani formula. So, Yamani formula, coming now calculate, looking at our target population, another sample size Soto is above 1,000. Right. So, now the research, Abuka 100% perfect. And we know Fananko, actually, Madame formula, you know, in the global north. So, Alaje Kolba Nyamen, and the Mola Farmon in Kolu, and in Gambia in the global south are different than we know about all that. So, you know, but the sample size Ate is methodically corrected because the formula may use, it corresponds with that. Now, who came on the common mandate? In 2021, Kabina OPK, I remember the first one was little, I think about this one was here actually about 200 something. So sometimes sampling for that, you consider a lot of things. I remember a particular year, the sampling place like Combo North. You know, that time we are using districts, you know, from LGA to district. This time now we'll change our sampling style. So what district total, unfortunately, Combo North man pick. And Combo North was one of the biggest, you know, district in the Gambia. We're talking about eight consequences in Combo North. So now look, you know, we have to adjust. Remember the word adjustment, because otherwise a good segment of our population will be excluded. So at the end of the day, we include the entire district. The district data. Why not for that? There's sampling GB. Now all the entire region data, the entire entity, so now in each of those EAs now, that's where we randomly select. Maybe let's say 15 or 20 households. But if the will get more EAs, you know, for the EAs, what about Sierra, the other faculty, the other regions. So for a population, for a sample of 1,245 is a good sample, and also about lowering London for them. We also agree, you know, sometimes for them, but generally in the IBB, I think it's a good sample size.
Yeah, there is one more, Mustafa. I'm sure you are born in.
It's fine, it's okay.
The question. Oh, where was it again? What theory or software was used for the data analysis? Because I think you talked about the theory. Maybe the software we don't, or is it something confidential? Ali software Jamala used. Lamin.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
What theory and software was used for data analysis? How many I lost Lamin?
Yes. Man of Africa,
I am back now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can repeat it again.
What theory and software was used for data analysis?
Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah, so what come and go now for we use use the Survey Solution digital data collection platform. You know, Survey Solution. So that platform, World Bank World Bank. So go platform will use. So a platform, you know, it's like a computer assisted personal interviewing and the copy can be used to do. But the software can be used to analyze our data is Stata. Ga Stata use, we run our data using Stata. The GeForce, the descriptive and inferential statistics. I want to generate. Then, now then we are able to generate using Excel to draw tables and graphs. Then now make a write-up on that. So Stata is a very powerful software that can do a lot of things, even try to make some kind of correlation. We could also analyze using Stata. You can also give us a very interesting findings. So the software I may use is Stata, and we use the Survey Solution digital data collection platform, a data collector.
And Mustafa Janimbe duna fenkoto. Lamin ya fule ko nyin report o awaratale because tenga je fang I went to your website pour ka jube the whole report bari maji je ngaje moja mabe question na kafoko where is the whole report for nyin report o is accessible, you people are open far accessible or no like digitally for dol membe say in Europe jang, is it something that one can mosa nyinin kaya email or alka selective information or a deal? I think there is we're having connection probably problem. Mustafa, I take a moileban.
Yes, clearly, yeah.
Lamin is there is hacking on Lamin. Yeah, Lamin. I think you are back. No, man Lamin soto honeybee. Lamin be Mustafa ko nyaade abe India le tedu. Lamin be India le.
Pakistan.
Lamin be Pakistan le obviously abe problems to kang with internet connectivity. But in Bafola Lami Abarkabake is brilliant. I call bondi nyamo kono mola the methodology kanyinko be kenyameng andung samplo kata nyamen because nyim yeah Ceprass meta jene bari nyimu kukuto leti fanan Gambian or to me alonko polling kake especially electoral polling ndol ma also to le bring kata from Jawara time to ya jame we didn't have it signed in call fitidara so kutayari ngolem tol Gambian ol kono so a discussion obe sialale mo jama fanam be question also to lale me alonko foi be la wo be tarala jele in the process but be definitely ngalami natile pour ayna nyimbe bondi nyamo kono ayna nyimbe explain to le saje juber lal fana ya understand mune mu nyinti katu Ceprass bi janne na be live la re together fo fana ya faham e ka nyin kol ke nyaadile nyin ka ke nyaadile ni jamale diamuta ni jamale man diamo fo reporto waratale bake fonsi access to reporto nyin fangoto fangola singa jube because la mi yem fo nyi reporto fango warata ntol nga menje fang so akamda ko ku jama bi jele me yalla ko ntol fanansa tanole because banko buka tano ni man statistics toto statistics wala mu Mustafa statistics wala mu control statistics mandika kango wala mu ka mol konte kesa control la well statistics because man la mandika kango statistics bije so I mean generally wala abeti pour molia faham lamin nge soto again mba summarize kan drom moli while nge lost is brilliant yening explanation o mendi ay nga faham because ndol man yin long Gambia man poll is new. Kobe like polling, taking the polls for the electorate. More long, sign na duntanang bring Jawara Jamano for ya Jaman, sign nga ko soto and kuma jama be folale question marks all better jele nga nati la man la wo discussion o bebe tarale jele. But la minti lafta men nyinin kala wole mu ko munimu the most important thing nyanta ntol banku dingol nyantang attention pela ala nyin report kono wala di most important finding that ntol Gambian soul nyantang hakil tola wakane kati ko jamale bi jembe dunna kono le but mune mu di key thing tol nyantang hakil tola we should pay attention. We losing Lamin again. Belamin lose kang again. Mustafa, it looks like I think connection o aben jam fakang Lamin bedameng again abe Pakistan le connection be during the je and fonga taratani nala kadung ka finti Mustafa ite yamune jube lamine you'll explain and it's sophisticated. It's like anywhere in the world because there be no way janne Poles katale jang and lami ye call explain nyameng samplol kata nyame tol ka ke nyameng margin of error nyol be fanan calculate nyameng lami ya be explain and it really exactly the same nteka jang aka ke nyameng by taking all these samples kanyin sample beta ka jube ka je ko accuracy high tol ka ke nyameng la nying random selection wala cost cluster selection on faparita ye regional beta ya jube regional to ka gina fanundi lamin ngamra nga lamin sotol ko teke lamin
Yeah, sorry, I think it's my internet. I was fluctuating from two network, but maybe this one is better.
Good. Abarka bake lamin. We know abuka easy with connectivity. But lamin come for wrong key. What are the key? Muna munying key three things or key things me alon control ntol banku dingol nyanta pay attention la ma fo politician or but ntol banku dingol nyanta pay nyin report okono fenja male fotam be dunna kono le but what are the key things ya miran tol nyanta pay attention pay la nyantang hakil nyabe yele la wakanga hakilo tu wakan lami you are mate
Yeah, it's okay, Mama. Now that's fine. So come na fanya men the report on you water. So even the report we have also made na fem ko the key takeaways. Me aron ko molsa jibeno because in report on you I fenya male fudi so banko molu it's a kujamale bije me aron ko sang hakilo tunwar. But most importantly, 7 no well draw. Nina on the governance law. Umudla me anga kumada back. Especially banku doing the for in terms of ila sula cool. Ila the economy la Carola, job creation, do la Carola. Banko mol diam to wala back. And banko mol fana sula. So la do fana me alon ko kumada report ko no wala the priority of government. Sorry, the priority more membira megan the killer. What am reforms? Mem kumada je more mem for banku dum mem for the independence of IEC. Through IEC independence is strengthened. And then vote by for and then president wala third term libi for now kana kumor America. Those are three important priorities mina ko banku mule mem for. IEC independence bambal kendeke karte sang where na we put check and balance ko bon different and in the term limit mu ko me go banko mul fana ay sulan yo fanam fone ko dal e man la fi men kata jawara masakunda ya jara masakunda we continue at least there should be a term limit mu ko me go banko mul ko men ko natam ni jayo fana economy job creation mo fele me nga ko mata bake banko mul eventually.
Lamin nin lafta dunna question okono like 60% tang killing for tang woro I think 60% tang woro Gambia dingol iko economy nying atamandi nyam amambetea we mune fo because I told you in reports 60% of Gambians rate economic management as bad. Ya fole ko amam better. Am foko fang ataman yamam penga bara amam better. 60%. Ya wole for more tang percentage or tang war. Yes. Sorry, mandiga ka jaka say sometimes. Even me to the lavin, even me to the.
Yeah, that's true because coming down for Japan, you didn't and then one of it was, of course, the economy. And coming go out Japan, near economy GB about 60%. Walia tadi kodal economy ni nga manta tagang kuke. Because ya jako dal, because la ni ngalo Japan, near economy GB. Mazukunda la performance benyadile. whether it's poor, very poor, fair, good, excellent. But yeah, 60% will go among better, one to among better back. Mole will tandi. So neither that jibe will come and tandi well and draw. Banko mole left and menda well 2026. Madunkan kate fokon. So more ba presia tana or economy ning anyanda haklut loro baker. Very important. Dulati me alam ko banko mole kodro kadi. Bao do fana sa foko pare banko mole ba economy understand no dile. Those are technical things. But don't let me get on the question now. Be friendly in such a way that mole ba faham. Bao da bo musul. So le kada Marcelo musul le kada dulato. Banko la kolean.
Yes.
In fact, the other report for NGB, even in terms of gender, although there's not much difference, but you can't go down. Musol Fana, I meant Tandy Walendal, Musol Fano, they are politically aware. It's just that there are barriers, but politically they are very much aware. A reporter for the candidate because they call for him back in the So, economy dal Bankomo left the moment after 2026 election. Economy, Tamani Jarame Anoko. I didn't better Banko Moldafa.
I mean, 66% wole ko dissatisfied of doku la call job creation doku 66% iman satisfied man content ko doku man comme doku man soto 66% man satisfied wala wo fana ye ali wo fenke nyaadile because ngalon ko of course molka kumbo doku ko la le ko doku man tara soto ring mol man doku soto.
Yeah, because now they rate rate because these are all different indicators. In question of the performance of government. So on the performance of government, economy will job creation begin, even in terms of the trust in government and many other things, even the security man would be analyzed and infrastructure and so on and so forth. So another on the performance of government. So Molde can read. But Secunda for Ibakeka cook and famous Lakeka, whether job creation are rated as bad or very bad, or good or fair, or excellent. So the more you can come coming go for more tower the war, I think is very bad or bad as far as job creation is concerned. So coming that company the economy, the job creation is a slogan. Slogan. Because it can shape how people vote in 2026. As a mole for voting pattern of as a influence no. Can you more it's an economy but now government the government rate will now. It's a perception. Even though the IGB Kibaro government for the kera biro di research kono ya tandi ko to fanan ba ku jama le ka economy do even though la dunia fa ko leare but whatever politician of French and jindula talale ila manifesto ya telo the need data economy iba kala tending whether they are ruling party or the opposition or ijenta fa mole ba kala nyabe banko mol sulata wala nyabe na nyimu medu do wala ndro is a wake up call for all the political parties ya je ko dal iba ñu fan ñu tumpul ñu fanal ni be iba tortura dadil that is the message.
Fanang ngajele ko confusion of fanan di amo be siarin damen ko 56% disapprove the whole disapprove the direction of governance banko taman di blow be nyameng 56 le proper 32 ya approve is you opening mole nyam kon because people more ba for can have but 56 disapprove 32 approve but hani be more ko e be carte file bare
Nindula de Adiamo was shared because Adiamo was shared. There are a lot of factors le bijan. Yeah. So yeah, niamol jibe come go ila land of president auto. Come go about banco tamandere banco molla interest o kam. Yeah, jibe jama bi je dal wala disapprove. Come ya fa nyame 56%. So nimbaning fasar la way mentandi wala ndron there is kind of what a trust deficit.
Landa balia wala nyinti ko banko mol ibe d'accord tole ko imalla president membe sirin sign kodi. Okay. Good.
So I mean wala na nimol ba jibela in terms of mansala performance. Ibaya ko nyim fenko dol fo bi they are condition sort of we call it what a conditional support type of performance. But jibe many along ko for 56% ko man la no soto mansala do ko la ka banko mo la ila nafa no kan sort of a condition to tied to the performance. So imagine you pull it from men tandi men kumada je whatever amanke an outright rejection of the government honey is important a message on the key and a message on you whatever lando me mansala jita ba kene. So I better decide that wala don ku da be mo se men kala no nyin lado ni ba jibela wala dal trust is based on comment trust parlare performance leka trust parlare performance leka mansaka aka perform nyamen aka kakol benke lando balare welcome o mu fana ke de
in summary current government is underperforming bitilo mansakunda mimbije Gambian kol malala ilafto wala fola in summary for
yes ya wetande but fana ilawo landa balia ya tambining the leadership la mealon ko kana economy jibe the job creation fana do ko la soto nyaay even the corruption level and in the reforms landa balia balare ñu fana leka now the report for the jibe more la perception of corruption is also very high. So imagine ko landa balia nata ñu fana lela na fanko ba ñamen science do ko la soto balia ba ñamen science adin mansala kata balia ka corruption control adin ka farid dirol ke reform bi alon ko ye mol promise wala post 2027 land nova wo fanale but fanan même fanan sa jibe dulato wala ko ñi support it even though among tara bamban bake but it is also reversible asa falindo bawo banko mo ngi depo ni man say la koy banko mo la ye men fo ay wo topoto ko sa falindo wala na science and ko man tara mo kende side la so political party will be do ko so sa ben kero ni la koy banko mo la ya tabri la fatra jabe ko sa ko falindo ba
akumara
so okay sorry Lamin defene foka
yeah no laughter maybe that will come later, the intention and the likelihood. Maybe let me not preempt that. You can ask your question.
Yeah, because laughter damen for la lamin wolem ko fanang chocho siata damen 49% ko ning election kita sama.
Yeah.
And sorry, 34%, 49 ko another candidate. Sa chocho be siarinje bake ko ni nga parameter sol be jube ko mol man la barola akam dako dal the governance is weak but at the same time alla reporto ya tendi ko ning election o kita sama 34% be a faila baroy isi wo bondi no nyaama because ali fa pareta ali oppositional beta ali alum in one how come mo question of ko alma divide alia fintini mole ko ibe carte fayla baroye ibe paro fayla UDP ibe carte fayla doye ibe carte fayla ni how come report man finti wonya para alia opposition boyta alia lump like that
Okay. That it was done deliberately. Therefore, now, tawle na ko jam. Natina, near the previous research debate, and maybe I can put this in the context here. So now, the satisfaction on the government is very low. About there in Bakela, Mola, in a content balia, Masakunda Balorin, because it's very much evident. But for them, now, maybe for them, crossing, what them go, a credible alternative of an issue. This is a problem left Barola. In Baroti, just I left the demand. So, the main currency, perhaps, I mean, even though Muka Parek to get into this kind of political analysis, because that's not, we don't want to remain objective, but the Miro and Mentandi, well, Molu also Hanatara a man left Barola, but for now, among any credible alternatives there. That's a Baroli place. Now, put go understand in data. Sign, what's I need Barol Lota? I need more cotton. I'm not fair to Mali. The other side, more cotton, the mole be excluded. Put now understand. More la intention for the president and the others. So one lato 46%, no 49% co other candidate, 34% co Barrow. You understand? Now, that is a mentality because man now for the question for the Nara for the Guinea Koteke, 49% of thing. So the only available option was partial member carry inside. So only use no. So Nimea Jamaico, Nimea 49% in Kono. Then they will have another subsection, another question maybe now. Kenyan in Kasai, 49% ni. Sai actually by fire Jumare. Wokono, that's where UDP is 35% sort of. And when you package all that one there, Kaji up to the other party 8%, I think 2%, 0%, 1%, 0%. So, but then when you analyze the Gambia, well, UDP of 35% is out of the 49%, not the total 100%.
So we break down because break down of in Tolmaje. I haven't seen it. Malo Mustafa Foyajele.
Yeah.
49% la breakdown. You are talking about a breakdown also tole.
Like about the protocol, and also maybe
we lost Lamin again.
I think he's looking at something.
He's looking at okay, Lamin, that's fine. Yeah, whilst Lamin la clarification okay la breakdown or because nga rumo moy lente maje nka rumo le moy Mustafa maybe fana ya rumo damale moy ko breakdown o bi jele bari ntol maje ntol nga menje wole mu Ceprass même bondinan nga nka wole use ni wole ka discuss nka wole analyze yeah, so Lamin Lamin la moy come for this breakdown of the 49%.
So the 49% only now breakdown in our report. I don't know, yes. Even the infographics the men give out, a breakdown of an budget. So okay. there's a breakdown of that. So that is on intention to vote.
Yes.
Intention to vote. Yeah. So now, another question on the likely winner, the likely candidate, the likely winner. So that is where Barrow, the president got about 46%. UDP, I think 20%, and then other parties also come in that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is a data. You have an intention to vote. But again, even Barrow having that intention 34, it is not an outright win for any single party.
Yeah.
Because the 49% is should be scattered among the opposition parties.
So, do you have access to that to just explain that bit a lot? Because Adiamo Seata J back about the breakdown of the 49%. Do you have access to this now?
Yes, I should have that because
ngajila diamo si ata back and people are very confused about this 49 because more statistical kafindele, but I'm sure mele full report or you will leka access to the thing. But in the infogram, we haven't seen anything of the breakdown because it's like 15 by 15.49% versus 34%. That's what we see in the infogram. Malo ni ya soto je just ka express aja diamo chocho e ji demanding ofananto. Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
check and try to get information. I see
yeah, maybe I will share that later because apparently I think in my phone is misbehaving. I'm not getting that. But the breakdown clearly, I mentioned is UDP is 35 out of that 49.
Okay.
35%.
Yes, 35.
All right. So I mean, now in Islam with the political party, there are strategies to calculate 35% of 49. How much would that be? In raw data. Will that be more than MPP of 34, for example? Maybe not. So when I'm for it is not an outright victory for individual parties. For individual parties or outlining. We need to understand that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but again, new mentality is more intention of 49% not voting for president. Also agree with the previous results on the economy in the favor because it's a rejection of the government. Now, if you come to likely candidate, yes, instead of enough a party do but I'm a winner. Maybe because of a president, I access as an incumbent, resources and incumbent opposition campaign in the coalition formula, but we winner. The perception on that, like a candidate, but I'm a miracle, medical na mira barrow winner, Koiba Fela Barome. Again, this has to be understood. But again, near data for NGB, clearly, the man menfo, mensa president of Bondino, what kind of coalition? That is the verdict of people. And even at the present bad place, Makamakunda, they also agree with that data because, interestingly, it was part of our sample. So the particular committee debate, they agree that the only way to get rid of the president can defeat with true coalition. That is the message.
We are on the 34% for voting who will likely to vote for Barrow. Is it something that the government should be comfortable with as a statistician and somebody who is also a researcher on electoral poll finance? What does this say? 34% will likely vote, and of course the
rest. This data is open to all parties.
Yes.
Being the for the advantage. So these results now, at a reverse you can reverse.
Of course, yeah.
So government also figured that you need a statement. Even in those areas. And then indicate social media for the influence for the mirror for the But again, indicate they are committed. Jobs will create and development in the other sector like infrastructure. So it's still open. So I think everybody should be worried. Whether it's government, whether it's opposition. All of them need to worry that because the data may indicate is very open. I open the market. So it's kind of a political strategy. It's a way used now. How if I didn't supply a favor. So they all need to act. And they all need to be worried.
It's good to be for Lamin because the information minister Natalie to disagree on that. This doesn't reflect their governance, and it about all of them should be worried, not just the president. But it will Natalie it doesn't reflect it. Yeah,
but politician on the surface. So we are used to that. But even not openly to criticize, but I think the data should be taken seriously. More than the data very seriously, irrespective of who you are. So yes, you can come out and then rubbish everything, but whatever, that is politics. You know, I mean, and we don't even react to some of those kind of statements. You know, and then so we respect that.
So dita fana men serious tabake me yalon ko mol meta folale bari yalon statistic to nunji amam finti alla nyin sauver mam finti pour ka bambandi wole mu ko 65% ya foko si holi 66% ko the fight against corruption is weak ama corruption kelo dal amam bambang anna fatale bake and mol meta folale dia mobe ke a metale corruption jama bari alla nyin statistic o natale aya bambandi even when follow what of Farang.
I mean, corruption. I mean, I think is an issue because more beba diamukande. I think a lot of people are talking about that because near corruption or jibe, near message on men fintida, more like miro men fintida. Amanyala more than yakodara komenko. It's just a mere slogan. Komenko more like miracle or more like diamu back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like data mentally, it's just sort of a lack of public confidence or corruption behind Kanyame. There are a lot of Mola Miro Kumatima like a four. So maybe Mola Miroto, when someone tell a step taka, Hanaka Mansoko step taka because you only indicate or once a law no come. Law Bukanya Pakan Doyakanya, due process should be followed. That is that person. But say we mentally Mola Miro no ko nafo be the back. Corruption like a lot. The anti-corruption agency for that side, are set up by government, so, but again, more like confidence in corruption fight leading is still not there, trust matter. So, I mean, I think generally, when we get from most of the information as far as our data is concerned, is there is sort of a credibility gap between more Masaka Memfo or Moroka Memfo and then more from government experience. So you have that kind of credibility gap. Data wale tandi hanatara kumol menga fo kaje ko dal kata ko be kerede so mol fanan kambe experience every day corruption institute wofulu la kawle tandi ko tonya e ko kata ko be kerede par to fi hansai kata ko ni da satan.
Yeah, but Lamin, just Mustafa, I have to let you in. But Lamin, one more question, Jenny. But Lamin, mune mu the biggest risk. Iko mo manya na nyeng ignore, mo manya na nyeng tala ka foko drong slogan lembari diambale. Mune mu risk ni moya ignore. If it's just ignored, go. I will Ceprass le be diamu ken sangola drong ngo Gambian ol fongo fo nyil salon Gambian ol be mem mirakan ibe menkela.
The risk may be there wrong. These are voter sentiments. Kata fela la miro la jindi la mem mira la perception of e waltandi. Nimme jultala e mata seriously. I mean, it can also mola kata fela asa fekano asa influence no. When you manjiki ko yim party card ni nata ita nyindi nyinkeno. Maybe they will not vote for you. So the risk may be there. One draw. Nimme mata seriously. I mean, it's a loose law. And that's the fact. So you pay for that. To us, the data cabinet they were more la intention of voting as our influence though on how some of the in code will be about Tamaka. By jikere member Tamaka na better. Bensa do code bola. Bensa corruption fight no. Bensa economy better. The baluna better and so on. So wala na mo be the current mo be at seriously.
And Mustafa Mbalal, how would it a public go mol be because civic education program mol nyanta Ceprass la findings so nyanta engage la nyadi le isaje ko without politicizing, how can the public engage with Ceprass findings without politicizing the data isaje data ni mo politicizing ngajele ite amira nyanta kala nyaade
Comment go the même for Mole is simple. Nimbo left a further detail to understand they reach out to us. So it's a command near Ben the sea, left hand Ben the data columns are body and it's only used now as an advocacy tool to amplify voters will be the perception of Bensoto, governance issue to Masakunda la Doko, the performance kata Nyame, elected by Biro. It's a welfare because coming down for Nyame, don't let Biro be better well and Kaja Kodal. At the end of the day, the chance team mola il a Biro for the position of the well Biro ta, ya be the program of Gambesa, na faso the Nyame Gambia Yirwa. Ola na even that conference ba organize la. Mola Biro ba samal na tabloka, na land the stakeholders will team. We agree on a consensus. Banko faso.
Yeah, Barka Mustafa, sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Lamin, fanna killing la flow jive la janim bina coming for intention and likelihood janim bina la woto. Mol miniko carte sunya. Ali je keno nyadi 52% o buital damani so carte sunya o ali je keno nyadi.
Na wo question mo multi-select question because na more than the kind of reform left amendment, the top three are D. So Bajara Menko Pruka IC Bamba ni Kendeke ila independent way Bamba 100%. So vote buying is about I think 90-something%, and in term limit 83%. So Bajara Ninkusa Bo Bamba ta mobile back and ko lafita weke faridro de mearonko ay carte final sula. So we message bara key ko left IC ye independent ye bambang ikana lamoka and we left in kate some cool ba anguno ka fole o fone bo cool kono so ni ka benta di don gamino left benda kate o fay kilo kono ay kana ka jel koti banko mo left be tambi we tambi kala di kayra kono
Allah analysis member but 96% even for jang wo buitala wora kamul nako carte sango carte sunyango ani lanna balia politiko kono Gambia bi wom kulo ringol di lame
no nta fo na kulo ringol ila miro la yalam kumo do biya ka fo sa ka fo mol kana lala so niya tara obigere ay bo nakala atije fo kala je ko that is the message kata fo sao naba keri na bo mango bole fo la nata keri fo na kala je because what plan kuma da bagay because at the end of the day more left and benda kata fay kilimo kono kana mo kana la bokan kana ga jenko sifa jindula kuma da because at the end of the day you know for the banko la kero sabatin la na ko be kero kono na fiti kata fo kono maybe win the weight.
So when it comes to likelihood ning intention do
yeah.
Malong Allah analysis I mean not conclusion well Allah thanko when it comes to likelihood and then the intentions
now Nico intention because na mengi ni ka wala ni atara kate feo ba kete saba ite ba fa na jumale ala wo ka mengi ni ka wala a personal preference ite fo wala choice ite fo as a person akawel dan ite fo ku so nyindi lato wala 34% the incumbent president da Barola 49% ko another candidate wala ba faila bo kotende so nintamen tandi wala ko dal the level of more like choice by nyabe wala draw more left fallible we will tand bari ñanta men fana fa habla ñu lato wala kabrina ñinin karo fananke ko mole ko ite amira jumane sa gagneno sai ñit lato mantara mol la preference ini kaka ito fo la sebenda bari ba biro kala ko just like a political reality ite amira political wanyame sai jumane sa winino wodu lato 46% ko barole ba winna 20% ko UDP bare niye men tandi mola miro ta men tandi wala ko masaka sembo soto masaka access to state resources mansa maybe as an alliance structure soto mole ka fama and even historical voting patterns ko mansa buka boy for example o miro also o basically no mola miro di kaje ko dal mansa ba win bare left même bamband la ni ku flol kono pour akana jaka sebol bulu Nico intention to vote.
Yes.
Intention to vote. It lets affair me. Wakame jabi. Wala. It left a bit. Wakame jabi.
Yes.
So, but the likely candidate. Member win it ya bila jumane ba winna. Waka nyinkaro me jabi wala ko. Niye system OGB. Sign an unconditional kotawol. Kuye kujama landi. Iti amira jumane ba winna. Because member winna iti amira winna. We can find jama landi tablo ka jani bo fala. Nyindi atida. Ti amira jine ba winna. Ukawal fudi. So, outline dal amanya na bolu jakalla. But although secretary damek, data men fi de more left a change land. But for that, the men for art no for but more jama for na bide man convince ko. The opposition ba jame science and tech. So more la biro so somebody.
Lamin, is it that alien cool be lum into one kabra infogram obondi this 49% pour kaita the opposition nalman na nyokam al si winin keno nan na nyokam bari nalman na nyoka alte winin keno like is it deliberate for that or
no among deliberate just we want to understand more voting pattern behavior what kakate for nyadile left more mirror understand so that kamol makwe because niko mba fela mo jama ko da fela baro ina ko ke iti awi ba wina jama ko baro we message le fudi ay message le fudi ko more la lando opposition is still very low among ke la personal choice bari ila miro to different looking at different conditions ko well done. So that is the message.
So opposition yo do ko sotole baro e do ko sotole so ibe do ko sotole dal because dol man satisfy bari hani bi man decide follow.
Exactly. So even though the president is leading, but ala support just like Nafanyame is conditional, not guaranteed. It's conditional for certain factors.
Yeah. So Lamin ni mo sulata report wala o mo lafta contact ala anatol ya fo so ngalon ko ali social media so ali website o soto any other way mo sal contact no mo membe Gambian to do membe abroad.
Yeah, personally they can either reach out to our office or even call any of us. Me and Uncle, we are part of the team. We can relay the information and then make necessary arrangement. I think our doors are open. That's our because left out draw, one call more can mail for more bear sort of more bear boy. At least the impact should be felt everywhere.
Yeah.
Our doors are open. Yeah.
Okay. Yalong kumo kumazula ya fole. Asenata, but modo in reiterate Janko. Who knows nyin Ceprass fango typical Gambian who knows nyin Ceprass fango ika mansa kundala support wala na ika fa mansa kundala betambila because yalo model bige ya funyamen wala nyindi ko Adam Barrow be win nkai ko na bur football Lamin Cham I headline sa fenyameng I never na headline I malify bandi ala ke bang a ke front line I number basa figo basa fe mole asaki on the standard la front line front page to and then where tinna burfut ngol nim birkam ngol anin dubai ngol ning sukutan ngol e kol dundinyo kono in the context ko ko barole be winna so typical Gambian even mina follow wole mina katara surun ditoni ka koto Lamin.
Well, the RGB data mentality is clear because the media inventor is likely candidate. But if further analysis is done, just like for the president is leading, but the support is conditional. Even in terms of the vote, the RGB Barrow with 34%, the opposition combined 49%. Individually, President Barrow is still leading. Is still leading, even though ala lead the manwara. The undesirable voters for them kafuje, I mean, opposition can take over. Or if a coalition is made. So Kujima for them PJ, well, I'm got data is still open. It's still open. So more katale eleta in favor nyame. But there is a lesson, karajama PJ, party, and more sa karanoje. The data is very open. Amantara convincingly, Amantara lead on any group. Convincingly. So when you have the individual party killing now, the president is at the advantage position. Yes, that remains the fact.
Good, great stuff. So saying Miminkela, ikamulne say exhaust la press call lebela.
Sorry, Lavin, but this was very
important. But they malam for EFN's final thoughts on that.
Yeah, I just want to say sorry to the listeners. I know question will be sharing, but a lot of them have been answered. So ni multata ya lamoy koteke, they will have ibe respond to lami ya be bundinya very excellently and eloquently. I be explaining. And I'm so Mustafa, maybe you will want to cut them in bits and just put it up on Skype also the door for now. At least some questions are answered as well. Yeah, but what I just have to Lamin. Mol saltol mako dile because just general question wrong because Parliament start is huge. It's not just go election dam malem. Kujama bijentol fongosi men karano. You have researchers, university students, researchers outside of Gambia. Ibebe University, they do research. They need statistics and statistics Gambia. Even though of course we have the statistics, Central Statistics Department, but in some of these specifics ones all are difficult, and that's what you do. How can people help you because more big statistics more saltul mako nyaming Ceprass?
Yeah, I mean, we especially in terms of funding an independent group, but whether it's government or an interest group, and our accept not because that can undermine our independence. So any support Bakela and independent institution they support or Doku Sifan across the world, across the globe. But not like go fund Ceprass say that they recycle and so on. No, those kind of people don't accept that. And individually can to support no. But what we can also do, interest for your personal data. Obviously, don't consultant or let our doors are open for consultancies and Sake, Nimpareta, ila data na analyze na data. By every time.
So the individual researchers can come to you and say, and they can, of course, fund it to get the data.
Even President Barrow, now left OP for NPP. We will do it for him and give him the data. UDP need left we do it for him, but they have to pay us and do the work.
So you are open, you do consultancy work, yeah.
Consultancy work, yes.
That's really good. That's really good. And what improvements or additions would you like to make in the next survey? Because you talk about you're still going to do the next, or you are going to have a conference. Lafta mune improvement jelaji or additional jelaji.
Well, yeah, no, this side become perfect. The question of the video, phones are reframe. There's no doubt about that. Module killer it. So where we have some little bit problems here and there, module adjustment. Because now when you don't go for that, you learn in the process. One of the calculate. People can perfect no. After coming on, if they understand. Because Ceprass when I got do who ma for who come and make a perfect handy. The one of the wallet. That the whole you have some challenges in the field. So every challenge that mentioned can note so that next time I improve on that. So madame we continue to improve on our methodology and everything by improve So could my be a go for them, in our next survey, I especially Molka more code for them for gender killer, if it is fair enough, for include they might not be necessary, not load from body. But again, more for them car lafile puruna ta into individual party issues. Kajako, for example, UDP, Ceprass in Garoge, lafina Jumale law. Yeah. Question si far we try to avoid that as well. Even though both from Kajinigare, Nim question of Kela, Ceprass and Mulu Jinigare, Jumale and question of lead line become too political and partisan. So we can carefully some of the way the question will frame them and so on. But Kajibere, at our level and then from our standard reviewers, Kajibere whether such kind of question can also conflict, with some or try to interfere, particular call for and so on. So still we are still open to if we feel, especially from our internal validity or standard validity point, after our dolba, some issues on someone, certainly we try to avoid that. But we need
Almantara Silarala because Jang thing aje janne you can poll style by party, but they also take polls by presidential candidates and they will take individuals and ibe londi la tet janne what in fact sign them from we're having a poll even in Norway. I mean they're running polls about the popularity of the president and in comparison to different individuals who are surfacing.
I mean, even today, before I let it forced me to get into some political analysis, which intentional. We don't want to get into those kind of because government don't strictly we go by our data set, but you also left to elaborate more on the data.
When you do a political survey, it has to be it community.
I am not, and we are not a political scientist. We love that political scientists data put analyze and then your call you may put in the context and so on. Make clarification, give our data. The man can so that
yes.
That's not a problem, Lamin. I tell you what, Lamin, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank you very much. Thank you so much porque Chantu Fanfanke KJ because Donald Gambia when it comes to resources, I think Kafuta to communication network and then we'll see if I'll probably keno ya fanyaming, ya breakdown yaming, and then ali apparatus min use and then ali system min use in place. This is outstanding. I would say, job well done. Congratulations, Alea Katabakele, because Janum Sony had a inclusive, but ni Borajang idundo laroldo, internet all connection all kafuta molla miro perception mindset dolni futatel dol data politic good coming Alea keno nyem buka nyinke this well is mal comment la wala bake and fanam be fanan tentula famfange dam fa kunangol male tul sena mo jamalati be je la fake I know imam bisali patiently even though fresh call bela but sam be minkla say bula ila final thoughts yalan ko ku jannimba kum falan kala fi fen angalel ko final thoughts wala ndul ba fala ko kono to dia ba kala minute nyinko kono karandiro lamin anden ngebla
maybe you're wrong. The second follow draw, if there's one message from this poll, it is that Gambians are not disengaged. They are demanding, they are critical, and they are calculated. The numbers do not speak of apathy, but of a society negotiating its democratic future. That is the message left from Moli. Gambian, they are politically engaged. They for Hamro water. And they don't know killing. Moli found the battle. And across the gender line, Sukunda Kekunda, Mola Fabro water battle. And then Gambian sign for them, he can calculate. And he can demand kele. And they are also very critical in everything they do. So, we're going to sign them, Kujamabide, Kacha Kasia, because everything no more can question it. You can't demand it. We mentally don't for Hampton. And then again, the platform Alchemy use social media and the impact has been highlighted in the report. Although Manjema, but a higher 76% of Gambians use social media. So social media la power in trying to inform people about that. So I think about bolla for hamuro kola member kere na danda wala warta back. So member je sa gamenol bote ne no for hamuro warta. So nakumala mo ka kunfa wala political party ol be parce que kundale mo opposition le bank e ni report karam ya karam ya faham banko bo lepte benna do fana bunda ba yele de ni left the clarification on na bunda ba yele de na obi soto le bank kadife wala to individually yemol contact ba arrangement kelere bol sulata benna na bondi e nyoto at the end of the day the Gambia will be Gambia ke kiliti mole ke baklim faculty karte fa ke kiloni sobeani akana ke jenkoti pour Gambia kana sa tara kairo kono kairo be aron ka batentena woni yiri wajaba wala mo to ngadioti and left fana at the end of the day ka mol different groups will be samana nyokan ka kacha ka campaign kula be se gando ka bangola jarotat ala baraka ba.
Cheers. Thank you. Nay, your thoughts?
Mbafara, I mean, Lamin abarkabake ye time moment di mola patiently yen kolbe bondi nyamo kono ye kol explain alkala doko ke nyame ye men for them. I mean, saying there is social media and everything, church be sharing, questionable be kekan, and generally there are more man dalin in sove si fala and ngalong adiamo be continually, but it's really good yen you make explain. Despite, challenges with the net, and then of course you look like somebody with a cold, but it's Italy, yeah, with patience, yeah, be bondi nyamo kono kasula wolela na civic education programo pour ka cold bondi nyamo ko nin chocho be caring nga mol kumande na si na be bondi nyamo abarka bake because ye men for doronem gambenol nyaaye le tale sai nyaaye le tale ifaham tale ye men fo kol ka bondi nyamo kono hani mol men man karang sign radio station will be jele melalon ko local language ol katara jere kasila ninte ba ma fanga bi yakam ko mandila ko nyukom ko menum pa manere la moy kanga be nyine explain kede but abondi nyamo ko so ikanyil bele ke they call you ike kumandi yafo dukare nying explain te menum pa modi le nying explain te so will be katara keri ne sign so a koso da bari ala barka ba ke Ceprass and defongo barka because they la statistical use analyze I use like everything because it confirm everything I've been saying.
Yeah, I saw your write up. I saw your write up as well.
Yeah. So I've been writing, and and it really gave me really joy. What things I've been saying for all these past years, it's really been documented and been shown. It's a fact. It's not just something I'm talking about or right now. Allah barka bake, and of course, Lamin Yafo Nyaming, they are open. Momo Lafta, you have access to the information, and of course, they are open for institutions who wants to collaborate. They are also open for individuals. Maybe recycle, you need data, ima sotono. you can always use them as consultants to do that work for you, and of course on paid thing because they are a business, if I understood. Yeah. So this is, and then ka clear mole, they are independent. Mansakunda jo imantara mansakunda la kate imantara opposition la jorto mo buke jo ifangol le wulita ye fang organize e be nyindo ko kekan as consultants and consultants obe da dunia belem iga ke consultant mol sula tela ye doko dila ya jo ye tela hajola abarka bake dube lar fa damba fa
Maybe I want to acknowledge my colleagues because the one I work with, there are 5 of them.
Okay.
You have Dr. Mustafa Jobate, the one from Kudang.
You see?
Yeah, you have Dr. Hamidu Jawara. You have Associate Professor Bana Saune. Then you have Mr. Yusuf FJ Diba. He's a veteran. Olpa and myself, 5 of us work on this project. These are top-notch researchers in the Gambia. Thank you.
There's somebody called Bakari Silla. Babukar Silla, who is saying hello to you. Bafala ibe ala barka andong kon dada bake ko kala jula jobate nyam ni kundak kabe nying kon nyato. So
okay, and then I would say this here on the platform. Franklin Kumare Jambake, social media like impact. Yeah, I forgot. Can you remind me the percentage? You know, the civic education social media percentage majority.
It's 76.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay,
yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, 76.
Sai molbe lamwekan and the mol kunindala. What lamin biming kila for, and on behalf of all the civic education team on Skype wajang from meta ngalo nyinta kila labang tilang. When is the next survey?
Obina maybe June, but what we will do in other indicators analyzed, we will share with you since I have your contact.
Good.
But we are not organizing any media whatever. We just share with the media outlets. That is other indicators not been analyzed. So we do that now. So by early next month, we will share that with you. But the next OP will be in June. Inshallah.
Okay. So see how some of these things we need along with a common nooning, send them across to me, and then I'll share that with the public, inshallah. So from the first kelam beten to la fan kimbe la be follow ko nyinta kala la bond ngale bakal na la now and again. Thank you for your time. More be to I mean all the people more be comments and contribution. Ibu wali nyol wolko ibela fele ni doko ke tanatije ibu alom with time we'll be able to so for on behalf of civic education team of be to but more be tentulam be jela bedana jenne kapanon Skype or radio and TV services alnal badimalo Mustafa jamme member sirim program o kunna fo sibit nala inshallah. Thank you all. Allah baraka.